Hello everyone, Brad Hirsch here. I'm the paddling director at Sultana Education Foundation, and I wanted to put a video together basically explaining some of the things that you want to think about before you head out on any of the paddles that we are suggesting here. Okay, so that means what kind of things to think about for gear, things to think about for tide, wind, and weather. So I'm going to show you my gear first, or types of gear that you want to be thinking about, and then after that I'm going to just kind of go over a few small things about wind, tide, and weather. Okay, here you can see a few different things that I want to be taking out on every kayaking or paddling trip that I'm thinking about. Okay, so obviously first you see my kayak, a Pungo 120 Wilderness Systems. It's a great kayak, serviceable, but there are plenty of others as well. You see my paddle as well, an adjustable paddle so that I can make it specific to my size and to what I want to do in the water. Okay, over here I have a dry bag medical kit. Make sure that you have your basic medical necessities in case of an emergency. Also, I have another dry bag. That's usually where I'll put like some extra clothing in case like the temperature changes or it feels different. I also have a hard case dry luggage, and so in case there's something like maybe a camera or something like that that you wouldn't want knocked around, this would be a great thing for that. Over here I have my water bottle, because you want to make sure you have enough water with you at any time. And then I also have my extra large life jacket, because again, big hoss. And then over here, well, that's my apple. I meant it to represent food that you would take with you, because you need some energy food. And then I got a little hungry on the way over here, so that represents the fact that you should take food. I'll just do a quick thing to say about other foods. Sometimes you like an energy bar or something along those lines. Just make sure not to litter with any waste that you have from like an energy bar or plastic bags or anything along those lines. Okay, so that's the gear. Some other considerations you want to think about as you're going into anything. First, you want to think about your own personal skill level. Different people have different capabilities, and you need to match that well with the difficulty of the paddle that you're about ready to take on. Okay, so as you think about your skill level, whether it's beginner, intermediate, or experienced, you want to make sure that you match that. So other things that you want to think about as you put together that stew of what the perfect paddle would be for you are, especially in the Chesapeake Bay region, this will be different in like rivers that are flowing in one direction, but in the Chesapeake Bay region you're going to have to deal with the tides, and any of the paddles that we're suggesting here, you're going to have to basically take the tide into account. Take it into account how athletic you are, take into account how in shape you are, and wonder whether or not you're going to be able to, if you're in for a little bit of a fight one direction or the other. Okay, the other thing that you want to think about is wind. Wind can like make or break your enjoyment of a day. Okay, and you want to check and make sure that like you understand the direction that you're going on the river, the bay, or the pond or creek or whatever you're on, and you want to make sure that the wind is acceptable for your level and also for what you're looking for. Like some days, honestly, I want a little wind because I want a little bit of a workout while I'm doing it. However, that's a choice that I make in that moment. And then also, you want to think about the weather. Obviously today, as you can see in the back, this is a gorgeous day. I'm not going to worry about the weather that much, but you need to think about things like lightning. You need to think of things like rain, and also extreme heat on in all of these different ways. So those are the things that you want to think about, putting all those together and kind of going from there. Have a great time on the river.